Let's do this. Hey everyone, Slater Danger here with an update for you guys on this whole thing going on between Roosterteeth and myself. But before I go into detail, I'd like to state once again that this is not intended to bash Roosterteeth or anyone involved. I'm simply voicing an opinion that I have formed from my understanding of everything that has happened and the evidence to back up the claims I have, while also displaying honest criticism where I feel it is needed. So, about 6 or 5 days ago, I don't really remember which, I have to go back and check on my Twitter, I had heard from the community manager over at Roosterteeth Games, Cricket, or as most of you better know her as, FoxyGen. If you recall, I did a video basically outlining all of the things that they could do better with Grimm Eclipse to improve the game and get people to play it. She had seen it and had given me these responses in a series of tweets. Part 1. Zach, I am super impressed with your video, and I am actually very familiar with your feedback. Thank you for expressing this latest feedback so articulately and with thought. I sense you feel you haven't been heard, but I will tell you you have. Side note, I just want to clarify, it doesn't matter to me if my voice is heard. To be honest, I could give a damn about that. My goal is to let Roosterteeth know what we, the community, feel as a whole about how they are handling Grimm Eclipse. Also, if I have to be completely honest, it's not that I don't feel like I'm being heard. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I feel like I'm being heard, but Roosterteeth is willingly ignoring it because I'm no one important to them. It doesn't benefit them to come talk to me since I am a nobody. And the responses they do give out are so heavily scripted, so predictably businesslike. It's disgusting to say the least. Part 2. It is so much easier to respond to questions and critiques when the language is open-minded and objective. Your thoughts on how to improve the game are fantastic, and if you haven't considered a career in game development or storytelling, you should. Part 3. I really like the suggestion of focusing on content from an antagonist perspective. In my honest opinion, some of the villain's story arcs are just as compelling and emotional as the heroes of RWBY. She then goes on to talk about how the team of devs is so small in comparison to the AAA and game development companies, and how they have a long way to go, but their passion and dedication to making the best game is unparalleled. Basically stuff that you already know, stuff that they say all the time. But this next part, however, is where it gets interesting. Part 5. We were actually incredibly excited after announcing previously that no new content would be available for Grimm Eclipse, that we would be able to work on it again. The miscommunication at RTX disappointed a lot of passionate fans, but it won't stop us from continuing to work hard. That entire last sentence was in quotations, by the way, in case my tone isn't making it clear. Now, this is where my beef with Roosterteeth has begun. For one, it isn't enough that they lied to us, the fans, about content that was never in the works. They took it a step further and gave us this ridiculous answer of it being a miscommunication, instead of admitting that they lied to us. Everyone, including the devs, knew that they had no intention of giving us either a new campaign or a new game mode, and yet no announcement was made to rectify this mistake. Therefore, by no means was this a miscommunication. Ladies and gentlemen, I am disappointed, not only in Roosterteeth, but also in Cricket Kid / FoxyGen. I get that you have a job to do and you have to provide for yourself and your family. I can respect that. What I can't respect, however, is the fact that you might as well have checked your morality out the door when you tried to feed me that, and pardon my language here, corporate BS. Just to clarify that I don't fault you as a company employee for doing your job and towing the line. I do fault you as a person because you had a chance to say something about the matter and you chose to continue expressing this lie that the company you work for has most likely told you to stick to. I admit I don't know what the role of community manager entails, but what kind of message would you be sending to your community if you were to continue denying such an obvious tactic of deceit? We're a business, so telling lies is okay as long as we're making money? No. I don't think you are personally like that at all. Because I've chatted with you, I've heard you speak on stream, and every word you spoke carries with it a passion unlike any I have ever seen. Anyone can tell that you want what's best for this project and that you are determined to give us, the fans, an experience we deserve. The best experience we can get. But you have an obligation as a person to put your job first. But I have to ask, just in case I'm wrong, or just in case that there's any chance that you actually believe in this miscommunication being just that, how can you properly justify a 3-month absence of an announcement correcting the miscommunication at RTX? How can you defend the company you work for making a mistake this massive and not giving proper notice to their fans instead of having us wait until the update happened to tell us that, oh, this was never planned? For what other reason would there be to drop information like, if you're an owner of RWBY Grimm Eclipse, by the time the update happens, you'll receive this content in a free update which will be coming soon, if you didn't plan on delivering on that promise? Sure, you could say that the papers may have gotten lost, but with the way that technology is nowadays, and judging from the fact that Gray Haddock appearing to be reading the announcement from his phone, I don't see how sending a text message to whoever the person in charge of doing announcements or whatever let the fans know, hey, we never planned to do this, it was just a mistake, could be so difficult. I'm not sure about the rest of you, but I personally can't wait to see what answer we get from them. Just remember that while silence is technically an answer, it just furthers my point. A fan of RWBY that I was talking to during my quest to raise awareness of such a lie brought up a rather interesting point that I myself hadn't really considered. They said that instead of the voice actors announcing the new update for Grimm Eclipse, or the staff itself, the dev teams themselves should have been the ones to do it. And they are absolutely right. However, I do not think that would have changed anything because a lie is still a lie. On a somewhat related topic, this Thursday will mark the 3rd week since Grimm Eclipse update came to Steam on October 18th. That means that this will be the 3rd week that the update hasn't been on console. I find this to be increasingly frustrating since now that we know there is no campaign or game mode, the hype is dead, the game on console is dead, and even if it weren't, they still haven't fixed any of the problems that the game already had to begin with. So, dead. I will continue to observe the situation for any changes. All the same, I'll also be watching Roosterteeth for any possible new information. But for now, that is all I have to say today. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video, and keep in touch because I'll be uploading a rant about My Hero 1's Justice and what it needs to fix to make the game an overall enjoyable experience. But until we meet again, this is Slater Danger. Check you Slater.